So the Neighborhood Emergency Response Team Training Program was started in 1990. The citizens of the Marina District came to the San Francisco Fire Department and said, can you teach us a program to survive on our own for at least 3 days? There's a 62% chance that we are going to have a probability of 6.7 or greater earthquake. What would happen in case we had an 8.3 on the San Andreas or a 7.4 on the Hayward fault? 71 large fires, 40 major rescue operations. Loma Prieta, there were only 4 major rescue operations. There were just 34 structure fires. We would need 273 engines to handle this. We have 41. You're going to be on your own, and we better all be prepared. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go overview of the Neighborhood Emergency Response Team Training Program. Part of this training program is helping you to make those decisions that are going to save lives. In this situation, this person carrying a pail of water to put out that fire is not going to put out the fire. Next week, you will be learning about basic fire suppression. How many people have used a fire extinguisher before? Okay, maybe only about 10% of you. By the end of the 6th week, you'll actually be putting out a fire and using a fire extinguisher. Fire extinguishers are around in practically every apartment building. You should have it in your home too as well. You don't want to learn how to use a fire extinguisher when there's big fire in front of you. Next week, they will also go over all the utilities that you have in your home or in your apartment buildings, which is when you would turn off your natural gas and why, when you would turn off your electricity, where and why, and also water. Hazardous materials is also going to be talked about next week. How many people have hazardous materials in their home? Okay, I only see about 35–40% of you. Well, you're going to find out that all of you have hazardous materials in your home. The 3rd week of class, we're going to teach you about disaster medicine. When we tell you that this program is about doing the most good for the most people, that's you, and you, going into a room, spending 30 to 45 seconds maximum on one single person, doing 3 life-saving techniques. So by the 4th week, you've gone through the utility controls, you've gone through the disaster medicine. Now we want to teach you as search and rescuers how to keep yourself safe by identifying buildings that are safe to go into and not safe to go into. Also in class number 4, this is very important that sometimes objects are too heavy for you to physically lift off of a body. We're going to teach you a method called cribbing, which will use a fulcrum, a lever, and anything you have, whether it's nicely cut wood, books, cement blocks, so that you can use this technique so that a few people can lift very heavy objects off somebody that needs to be rescued. By week number 5, now that we've told you the basics of what you need to do when you go out to do a search and rescue, now you have to have a plan. Okay, every program needs to have a plan. We can't just say, here are your skills, go for it. Class number 6, which is always the funnest class, is after we do half an hour of the final exam, we're going to split you up into teams of about, looks like about 10 people each. You're going to be putting out the fires. You'll be going into a very dark room doing an interior search. You're going to be treating people with injuries on them. You'll be doing cribbing, right? So lifting a heavy object off of a Annie doll. Then you're also going to be getting your ID. Okay, you're going to also be going out and learning about how to turn off utilities too as well. So this one is really the hands-on portion. We're building you up to the hands-on scenario.